All right. So I'm really excited to talk about my scary choices because these are all podcasts that have freaked me out, or episodes specifically that have freaked me out over time. So the three I chose, the first one is The Old Gods of Appalachia. And really, I just did the first episode of the first season because there's really no other good way to get into the series. They have a few standalone here and there, but nothing that is as good as the just getting into it with the first episode. It's so dark, it's so heavy. Like, it's not something you can just pick up on and go, oh yeah, this is great, and get into in the middle of. You're going to be very lost, very confused if you don't start and learn the characters and learn the backstory and learn the world that they're creating. Plus, I lived in Lexington, Kentucky for a little while and had a sales territory of southeastern Kentucky. So some of the areas they cover in the story, while they're fictional, they're eastern Kentucky. They're very much the hills and hollers that I traveled a bunch. So I have a lot of memories from going in those areas, and even the sense of like, oh, we don't go there after dark. And so that to me is why. Yeah, Old Gods is
so for that one, the thing that stuck out to me the most was the sound design.
Oh, really good.
The time and effort put into, first of all, his narration was on point because he's, and I noticed that it was the same guy that did the sound direction as the guy that was narrating. Fantastic. That was my biggest takeaway, was for a 17-minute episode, the production that went into this was full scale.
Yeah.
It's a great series because that ambiance that it gives while he's talking gives you something that you don't get in a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And it is really nice. And his voice is...
And the thing about Appalachia that I absolutely love is, we're from this area, and that you don't know what happens in the woods, right? And so therefore, it also makes me think of like old world Haitian, voodoo that they have in New Orleans, right? So you don't truly know, and then you're on the edge of your seat as you continue to listen. And then the mysteriousness of, oh, there's like runes that have been drawn on the ground without giving too much away, and people being hung, and all those fun things.
The dark stuff.
Oh yeah. It's incredibly dark. For those who want to listen to it, just know it's an incredibly dark series. It does not have a happy ending in most cases. The second season's a little bit better, I think, for that, if you're looking for that balance. But I listened to that series when I was when my daughter was first born, is when I started listening to that. So I'd sit in the dark and be rocking her and listening to Old Gods of Appalachia talking about the old gods.
Terrifying.
Now, I don't know if this is true or this is the reason or not, but I will say she does claim to see ghosts in her room.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, if it
you
was
instilled it early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I instilled it early.
Yep.
If it was at 3 a.m., that veil.
Right.
Time.
Yeah, that
thin. To it, bringing it in.
Thin veil. So, so Old Gods is awesome. Another one that I really love. I've always been a huge fan of Astonishing Legends. Truth be told, the first time I really got into them was with their Bigfoot series, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is their series on the Sally House. Because if you listen to any amount of Astonishing Legends, anything post Sally House will reference Sally House at some point in an episode. I mean, it's literally a drinking game you have if you're a fan. You can just take a shot every time they mention Sally House in an episode, and you probably will be a little tipsy by the end.
Yeah, you'll be done.
Because it's such a seminal experience for anybody. And I know, like, I gave you all the list of all of them. I didn't expect you to listen to all of them by any means. But the story of the house is so crazy. I've seen people investigate it on YouTube. It's been investigated a bunch, and every time I see it, like, something happens. It's a house with a lot of activity.
It's a house that its name, when you mention the episode, it's one of those houses that pop up a lot when you see like the Stanley Hotel from The Shining. It's one of those like most haunted places that you can visit, and I love those. I mean, I love hearing stories about places that I can actually go to. Like, there's no restriction to it. I can experience this myself if I want, and I do want.
Would you want to sleep there?
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. Yeah. Until I didn't. Until whatever woke me up and made me run out the room screaming like I've never screamed before. But I would try it. I would absolutely try it.
There's one set of YouTubers I follow where they claim they got an attachment from going into the Sally House, and that attachment followed them as they went to other haunted places.
Thing that happens,
That's why I tell you all, we smudge ourselves before we leave.
That's right. That's right. That one's just really intense. Another reason I love that one from an audio production perspective is the fact that they spend a whole episode dedicated to how this could have technically happened, because they capture, for those who haven't listened yet, they capture an EVP, or an electronic vocal projection, I think is what that stands for.
Electronic voice.
But but basically they captured the voice of a ghost on camera, or on a microphone. And it's a specific type of recorder that is known for getting ghost vocalizations and EVPs. Yeah. But the crazy thing about it was one of those
little tape ones, isn't it?
It was one of those tape recorders. Yeah. It's a classic, like Sony or something. I can't remember what brand it is.
Those mini tape recorders are known for being great at that. I don't know why.
Isn't that weird?
It is.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, then they dive into that. They're like, well, if this was a ghost, why do they find themselves attracted to an analog signal versus a digital signal?
Right.
And why do these things happen? Is it easier for the ghost to interact with or connect with? And so it's just really cool that they go into all that. They also spend time like delving into the sound waves to investigate that. They send it off to professionals to have it examined. Like, they really look at it from every single angle you could conceivably think of to go, is this real? Is this just a glitch in the recorder that freaked me out, or what happened? Or
did something happen?
Yeah. The EVP they caught is horrific. Like, I made sure that when I listened to that recording, it was outside in the middle of the day in blue skies and sunlight, and it still scared me.
Wow.
I mean, it was, So huge fan of that series, and can totally understand why it was such a turning point, having like Scott and Forrest like deal with that situation. And it was the only one where they had really gone out and ghost hunted for the podcast, because most of what they do is just talking about Bigfoot or other mysteries and things, and they do a lot of good in-depth research, but going on site is not something they do often. So it's just so unique. Really love that one.
Nice.
And then the last one,
the best one.
This is the best
one. Really? I'm glad to hear y'all say that.
Yeah.
But the Sasquatch Chronicles, which has been going for like 1,000 episodes now, it's insane.
Yeah.
And you got to imagine 1,000 episodes. I'm sure there's some hoaxes in there.
512?
This was like halfway through.
Yeah. This was so long ago, but they keep going.
Yeah. And that one was one of my favorites because it's a quote from the intro, in the modern intro of the series, but also this lady talking about an experience where Bigfoots came and actually, showed up and like scared her to the point where she passed out or did something, and she ended up being moved, and all these things happened to her. Like, there's trauma.
Yeah.
Like,
you can hear it with the first 10 seconds when she starts talking.
Yeah.
But then the killer was like, nobody believed her.
Right.
Like, I'm listening to this and no one believed her. I believed her, but the police didn't believe her. And I was like, please believe her.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a silly. I can see how
story.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's so wild. It has to be true.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like,
you hear it in her voice.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Terrified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you hear it in her voice, like, you just know.
Actors can, So to a point, you can fake that.
Yeah.
But there's a level of it that you hear and you say, "Oh no, that's sheer terror."
Oh yeah.
Like, that's not
from the
fake.
beginning of her talking about it.
Yeah.
It's pure terror in her voice.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
She clearly has PTSD from the event, and while I wouldn't say that's the reason to listen,
right?
If you're skeptical about Bigfoot encounters and that sort of thing, like, this is one of the times where I'm like, you got to listen to this. Like, you can tell someone saw something, even if it's not really Bigfoot, it was something, and it scared her to death.
Yeah,
and what that was, I think it's Bigfoot, but everybody's got different theories.
That's right.
Bigfoot is real.
Oh yeah,
Sasquatch, Bigfoot,
100%.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeti,
so real.
Yeah. And if you don't believe,
cut this off.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you're watching the wrong video if you don't believe in Bigfoot. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah. So those are mine.
Yeah.
Megan, let's dive into yours.
Well, so my first one is Mr. Ballin, and I absolutely love his style of storytelling. That's the main reason. Like, I actually fell in love with the way he told stories during COVID. He was a YouTuber who then went to podcast. And so, of course, the episode I gave you was it's honestly my favorite, for the simple fact of, like, all his stories are real. They're based off of real life. But this one is just so stereotypical, like, the husband cheats on the wife, and then there's mass murder, and there's, like, chat rooms, which, of course, because I'm 40, I remember the AOL chat rooms, right? So I think that's why this was probably one of my most favorite. One, what's going to happen.
Oh, the moment
you listen to it, you know it's going to happen.
Yes. Marine Sniper was his screen name. And I knew his age. And the moment it was mentioned that there were younger people also in, I was like, well, I know where this is going. Yeah. Oh, he meets someone young. And it becomes a whole thing. Yeah. Well, guess what?
Like, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the love triangle to me was really obvious. Like I could see it coming.
Sure. Yep. For sure. Yep.
And just the insanity of it all, and the fact that, well, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it for those who want to listen to it, but the twist at the end was even, I would say, somewhat predictable, but it was good. It was a good twist.
Yes. Oh, and it's definitely a Dateline thing. But the thing I love about all of his stuff is, like, it's creepy. Like, all of his things, especially when he goes into the 411 stories. And again, if you all don't know what that is, you shouldn't be watching. But I just, So, of course, I think all of his stuff is really great. Yeah. And if you want to be creeped out, for sure, listen.
And I was glad to see that he had a podcast, because I knew of his YouTube channel. Yeah. Didn't realize that he had migrated over to make it a bigger platform. Pretty cool. Yeah.
My next one is Down on the Farm. And so I love this podcast for the narrator's voice alone. Fun fact, I'm a huge smut reader. And so I think the narrator voice makes all the difference in the world. So, and he should narrate smut books for sure. So that's one point. But the other point is it's an anthology series with micro stories. Like someone who thinks they saw aliens and freaks out. And then ghosts and witches. Oh my.
I do like that it was an anthology series, because I forget that, obviously growing up watching things like Tales from the Crypt and other things where you get little bursts of stories in one. And I forgot how much I enjoyed that, because I've, since getting into podcasts, a lot of the things I listen to are conversational or, it's back and forth, and it's not diverse throughout an episode.
Right.
But I do really love that keeps it wide.
Oh yeah.
And it changes up in one episode. I mean, like, how many stories were in that one episode? That was
a lot.
I continued listening to more of the show. Maybe that's why it's all running together.
Yeah.
But like, I loved his voice too. That drew me in. Like,
it's calming.
He's got the radio voice.
Oh yeah, that radio voice, which it's then makes you think, does he have a radio face?
Oh well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
He's also friends with the Astonishing Legends guys.
Oh, nice. I didn't know
that would make total sense. Yeah.
I think in that episode he actually shouts out the Astonishing Legend guys. Yeah. So
what do you think?
Time makes sense.
I thought it was good. I was I grew up not living on a farm, but we had family in Virginia that had a farm. Yeah. And so we would go up there and spend time. And I always remember being freaked out being on the farm late at night, worried about something. So the fact that like they were talking about stories in that respect, I thought were, definitely eerie. Definitely some eerie things that were seen and heard. And it just kind of confirmed my fear of,
farm living.
Farm living.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
But
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying living on a farm, let me tell you.
I mean, the only
living out in the middle of nowhere.
Goose you would be the cows, but
I did go snipe hunting when I was out on that farm in Virginia too.
Oh yeah,
That was my introduction to snipe hunting. In fact,
he caught 2.
Oh,
yeah, I did.
In fact,
yeah,
nice.
We still don't know what they really were, but he caught 2 of it.
It inspired a love of snipe hunting. I will say that.
Yeah.
You have to tell your kids to go snipe hunting.
Oh, I will. I will.
We did that.
Yeah.
And Declan was all excited about it, and then we had to bring it to him that snipes are,
Yeah.
It's your imagination what snipes are.
We got a friend who claimed to be really brave, and he was like, "Oh, I'm the coolest." And I was like, "Well, let's go snipe hunting." And we took him snipe hunting, and we humbled him so bad.
Oh, that's amazing.
We humbled him so bad.
We love those stories.
Oh, yes.
We really love to hear it.
It was a blast.
That's funny. But those are my only 2. I did those 2.
Yeah.
They were good.
Slacker.
Yeah.
My picks, I picked 3, but I will, to be fair, I'll start with the first one that is not necessarily as spooky paranormal, but the podcast itself is one of my absolute favorites. It's legend. I've seen them live twice. The Last Podcast on the Left. Fantastic. The episode that they did on Waco, Texas. The reason I chose this one was because I have a weird fascination with cults. And maybe it's because I have one of my own. I don't know. And maybe I'm taking pointers. But I've always been fascinated with it. And the David Koresh especially. And I thought that it was a tragic story. all together. But what the last podcast on the left guys do so well is not only the storytelling, but the research that goes into it, that when they do something like Jack the Ripper or something big, they do multi-part series where they go so deep into it, you learn way more than you ever thought you needed to know about the topic.
Which I think is really cool because it's a historical event, right? And so like I want to always pick historical events apart because I want to know like the reasoning behind the mental reasoning of why.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so that's another reason why I think their podcast is so great, because they not only they'll give you the story, but then they give you like the in-depth facts and things you didn't even realize you didn't know.
Yes.
Which make it even better. So then, of course, when you're playing trivia, you're like, I'm gonna win.
Yep.
Because
I know these things that no one else should know. Why would they? Because it's useless knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's good to know.
But it was I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just for that simple fact alone, is I took away things that I didn't even realize that I didn't know.
It's a very deep case. But,
for
it
sure.
wasn't paranormal.
And it's fascinating, you know,
yes.
especially my family's from Texas. So you're just like, oh, wow. And I remember when I was probably a teen, we actually drove up to visit. And I think you visited too.
I did visit.
And so it's one of those weird, like eerie,
it feels
somber places. That you're just like,
heavy.
I shouldn't be here.
Yep.
But you're here.
But I was, it was one of those experiences driving home from being in Austin. Me and a buddy, Derek, thought we would stop and experience for ourselves. We were greeted by a lady. We made a donation to the Branch Davidian Church and said we just wanted to see the site. And then she was, after the donation he handed her, she was happy to let us look.
Yeah.
So we went into the church and we spent like 15 minutes there, and it was heavy.
But I mean, I think cults in general fascinate the heck out of me. And I don't know if it's because like I've never been a follower, right? So then I also mentally go down the path of like, what makes you a follower? What makes you believe in this person so much that you want to follow them? And do all the things. Because I'm more or less like,
hey, I got my own agenda. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it's like that sounds a little weird. I'm out.
I'm hard headed. I do my own thing. So
what, you want 14 wives? Oh.
Now listen. Sometimes when my laundry and dishes get behind.
Okay. Fair.
That cult like mentality of like, maybe if we had a couple more wives, that wouldn't hurt.
Fair.
You know.
Fair.
But
Teach his own. Speaking of, the next one that I picked was Eli Roth's History of Horror. And the reason I picked, it's so good. I enjoy Eli Roth as a director a whole lot, and I love horror movies. They're my favorite. But the Edgar Wright episode was by far my favorite, because Edgar Wright is a fantastic British director who has made many fantastic films. One of them being one of my all-time favorites, which is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh my gosh.
Which is an incredible
so
film.
good.
Hot Fuzz is mine.
Hot Fuzz is incredible as well.
That's my go-to-sleep movie.
It's so, okay.
Literally.
Well,
like I put it
amazing.
on.
Are you saying it's boring?
No.
Okay.
It's cozy.
It is cozy.
It's her cozy
yes.
movie.
It is. It's a nice little town cozy movie. Yeah.
I think Hot Fuzz is my favorite of the Cornetto.
Really?
Yeah.
I really love it, but Shaun of the Dead just spoke to me. I think it was just when it came out, like it reminds me of me and my friend Zach. You know, the whole sitting down on the couch playing games and top left. Don't you have work?
Dang it.
And then I better go do that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a time in life, and I love that. But what I love about the podcast is that when he's speaking to guests, whether they're directors or actors, he doesn't just ask them about like the films they've made and the films that they've been in. He asks what inspires them or what brings them the creativity. And, you know, one of the things that Edgar Wright brought up that I never would have thought was some of Brian De Palma's early work that is akin to Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know, more of the dramatic, like theater musical pieces that I didn't realize Brian De Palma had in his past. And it's like, okay, I just learned even more. And then learning about the place in Oklahoma during COVID that has been playing Rocky Horror Picture Show every Saturday night since like the 80s. The projectionist came in, even though they were closed, he came in every single night on Saturday or every single Saturday and still played it. So that they didn't lose the record of playing it since its release every night. Those little stories, that you learn like by hearing someone's story talking about something that influenced them and not just what they make. I love that.
The whole Doctor Who influence too. Because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a huge Doctor Who fan. I mean, I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. Like
Right.
the Cornetto trilogy actually in my household with my kids and my husband plays a huge role literally in our family. So, but yeah, like the Doctor Who 1970s and how it was like a ripoff of something other horror show that was going on in the UK. And you're just like, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
But it caught on.
It caught
And
on.
that's all that matters.
But then you also learn like, okay, there are original horror ideas, but they all stem off of like one base.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's all kind of like stolen, not necessarily.
Oh, absolutely.
Stolen, but like reused.
It's the same as the Nosferatu versus Dracula. They wanted to make a German Dracula. Yeah. They were told they couldn't use Dracula because it was copyrighted. And so they made Nosferatu. The story is the same.
Like it's a little bit more scary.
It might be. They took a little bit more liberties, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So there's always ways around that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear about the parallels within films that you love and what they've brought from those other films into their own work and how they see the art itself.
Yeah.
Because we all look at it.
Yeah. And I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan too. So like seeing him go through his process and what influences him is always really revelatory and going, oh, well, he paid attention to that too, or he's actually doing things the way I would do it, of like, oh, I saw this other director do this shot this way. Why don't we try that, Gene? Just the little things that he does mechanically, I think were really cool to hear him.
The way that he edits
too.
the fast the fast like quick cuts that are like 5 frames each, but like Shaun of the Dead did it 20 times. Hot Fuzz did it at least 20 times.
Guy Ritchie does the same thing.
He does,
right?
Yeah,
so
Guy
then
Ritchie's
you think like
brilliant.
Yeah, so you think like they're all collectively helping
stealing from the same people. And using. I mean, think about it. How many films have you seen? The open the trunk shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's classic, and you will see it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because someone started it as an idea throughout all genres of film. It's now used as just a crucial shot, that opening of the trunk from the trunk's point of view. And I love it.
However, there's only one movie, and I can't think of it now. Oh God. But you open the trunk and it was, I think it's Brad Pitt. I can't remember what the movie is. It's a scary movie. And his wife's head was in it. Yes. Yeah. That's the only time you ever got to see what was ever in a trunk.
Yep.
And then, of course, you all knew it was her head.
Yeah. If you were following along, you knew.
Yeah. You know it's coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My third is from my favorite YouTuber who ended up doing a podcast. And his name is Mike O. And he runs a show called That Chapter. And I found it on YouTube years ago. He does true crime and horror, anything paranormal, anything up the alley of what we're talking about and that we love the most.
Yeah,
true crime is a big one for him though. So when he branched off into the podcast, I've noticed he did more paranormal. He sticks to true crime a lot on the YouTube, but in the podcast he delves into deeper topics. And he has his buddy Keith with him. And they dove into one that was near and dear to my heart, which was the Bell Witch, which is here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That we are also. We are here in Tennessee.
Well,
so
Knoxville.
Yeah, we're in Knoxville, but it's a local legend sort of story. And to hear my favorite true crime Irishman tell the story, he's such a cute guy. I love him. I love Mike O. Love him to death.
We all love a little Irishman.
He's. I think maybe it's just because I've followed him for years. To me, it's just like his voice is soothing.
Yeah, they both are.
Pulls me. Yeah, and Keith has that laid back. But I love the episode. But it's a little different than the story we hear around here.
Yeah.
But they did a little bit of a different. Being from their research is obviously a little different than we're living in it. What did you guys think?
I love the take on it. I mean, it felt a lot like the same story.
A lot of what
we've
you've
heard.
heard.
A lot.
Yeah.
But they came at it with their own angle, and I appreciated that. For me, it was great because I was actually driving past Adams as we were listening to this episode, and it was great because I was able to catch up on some of the history and then relay that to my wife a little bit later on the drive.
Nice.
Traveling that weekend when I listened to it, and Yeah, I mean, Bell Witch is one of my favorites as well.
Mhm.
It's just one of the fascinating stories and scary stories that exist here in Tennessee, and it's really well documented. I think that's probably the craziest thing about it is how well documented it was for the time, and the fact that it was Thomas Jefferson, I think, that went.
I think so. Yeah.
Was it Jackson or was it Jackson or Jefferson? I can never remember.
I think it was Jefferson.
It's one of the J's.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Jackson. Maybe I can't remember.
Presidential history is not my.
We'll figure out which one it is and
movie history.
subtitle.
We got.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Movie history we're good on. But history. Yeah,
you throw maths or anything like that at me, and I've got nothing for you.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
But no, it was good though. It was really cool to know that all that stuff happened when it did the scratches and stuff. The way they described everything kind of coming to life and
poisoning.
There's always a poisoning.
Yeah, there was poisoning involved.
Potentially involved.
Just all kinds of things. It was just a fascinating look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I loved it, but I think I loved their point of view too, because then they interjected different types of history, like the Salem witch trials.
Yep.
And then we were talking about Mary Catherine. Sorry if your name's Mary Catherine. There's always a Mary Catherine who's a witch. It's just, I don't know. It's a good Catholic witch name maybe. And then bringing into I can't churn my butter. Well, if I can't churn my butter, then she's cursed me. So bringing in all of those and then the witch. And I love it because if you're from here, it's not like a witch, right? It's a dog-like being. But again, because Mary Catherine didn't speak well, she called it a witch. So therefore, that's why it is,
or there's a real
what
witch.
it is. Or there's a real witch. I believe in witches, but clearly. But yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I like their take on it. And I like how they kind of filled in again more history to it.
And it's funny because Maiko, you mentioning Salem, he is a big fan of Boston and he takes trips regularly. I follow him on Instagram and I see him posting pictures. He frequently goes to Salem.
Salem is amazing. And I think if you actually get to do the historical aspect of it, it's fun for Halloween. I've gone a few times and it's one of those when you actually visit the museum and you see how somber it is and you get a history of there weren't witches.
Right.
But then there were mass murders and then the way they would kill the men was just
brutal.
Nuts. Yeah, they would put rocks on top of them and you'd suffocate to death.
That would
but
that's a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But then at the same time we all want witches to be real and Hogwarts to be real and But
the world to be magical. That's really all we want is we want the world to be a magical place that we can live in and also leave behind.
I mean,
but I like the mystery in the magic.
For sure.
There you go.
But I mean, I'm sure I would like to cast a spell on folks.
It's
make
a
my
thing.
grass grow.
That would be a responsibility and a very heavy power if possible.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go around doing it willy-nilly or else let me just tell you, if I could just make wishes all the time, this world would be insane.
It'd be like Bewitched.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
You'd be Samantha, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do have a nosy neighbor.
You do?
Well,
it's a man, so his name is not Gladys, but yeah.
Well, you got the nosy neighbor.
Nosy.
You still call him Gladys, though.
That's true.
I should.
You probably
I really
should.
To his face.
Oh, for sure.
He would.
Gladys.
Gladys.
Back
Why are you
off.
in my
Stay off
backyard?
the lawn. Gladys.
It is cursed.
It is now.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of scary podcasts.
Yeah. So plenty of things to listen to this holiday season.
Absolutely.
That you should be celebrating if you don't already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no shortage.
Yeah.
Things are out there. You just have to seek it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. And hey, we'd love to know what your favorite scary podcast is. So if you've got one that we didn't mention, or you've got another episode of one that we didn't mention, or something else that you want to chime in on, we'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments and let us know. We'd just love to hear from y'all.
Yeah. And we'll put ours. We'll tag them in the bottom so you can go check them out.
Yeah.
But you should do that. And then,
For sure.
give us recommendations. I always need something extra to listen to.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't?
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Especially in spooky season.
Yes.
Happy Halloween!